Hello everybody, welcome to another fine day on Magic the Gathering Arena, where we're playing poker evidently. I got a full house. 3 of a kind and a pair. That's the type of variation we expect to see from Arena. I didn't like my first battle when I loaded up because I got land starved. And I don't like missing land drops. But we can put out an untapped land and put out a creature right away. And I can put out another one and another one. We'll pay for that. And we're getting close to having an interesting kind of outcome here. No, I can't have a 4-drop. I need land to make this deck work. I do need 4 lands to make the deck work. With them getting out their enchantment already, they're going to be able to make their land drops. And look at all the army they've already assembled. Army, card draw advantage, land advantage, creature advantage. We're not worried. I think we start with Buried in the Garden. Let's get rid of Bravo. And we'll just spread the love around a little. That feels good. And of course it would be Essence Chandler. They get both Essence Chandler and a Johnny's Primate in the same turn. Does that seem fair? Let's try Calyx. They lost life, so Essence Chandler becomes a flyer. Still beating us on land. Doubling down on Phyrexian Arena. And just so happen at the top of their deck to have a second Pridemate. That seems completely fair, Arena. Look at all this pop off. Not on my watch. No, you know what? I'm going to let it through. Would have been nice to have not missed my land drop. So it would have made no... I don't think I could have paid for this in the same turn anyway, so never mind. She would have had 3 of Johnny's Pridemates. Are you kidding me? Arena really doesn't want me to win on this. Okay. We will go target this enchantment. We'll attach it to this land. Now I get the land. I don't think I need the land now. It's too late. Okay, we'll get some triggers going. We'll get rid of the 10-10. And we'll start pumping up creatures. And then we'll do Sheltered by Ghosts. And we'll get some more triggers going. And then, can we pay 2 more? Copy this. We'll copy Sheltered by Ghosts. Submit. Attach it here. Ooh, another Sheltered by Ghosts. That's awesome. Attach it here. And we're going to pump up this one mostly. We'll spread the love. We'll spread the love. And now, I think I want to attack with this, and I want to attack with this, and I want to attack with this. 3 of Johnny's Pride Mates. That's what I think of that. Take action. We can create a token of this. More triggers. We'll get rid of this. Life is good. I turned everything around in basically one turn. Things went from not so bright to very bright. And there's a reason for that, and it's the way the deck was designed. It does require a couple of cards. Let's go ahead and show you the deck tech. Ghosts of Fate is what we're calling this. I wanted to play with the Aftermath cards. I had 4 copies of Calyx Guided by Fate, so this deck is called Ghosts of Fate because we also have Sheltered by Ghosts. And it's your fate. If I get 2 copies of Sheltered by Ghosts, your fate is to lose the match, pretty much. So, Calyx Guided by Fate, legendary enchantment creature, 2/2, with Constellation. Whenever he or another enchantment you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Then, whenever Calyx or an enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may create a token that's a copy of a non-legendary enchantment you control. You can only do it once a turn. So, out of all the enchantments I have, none of them are legendary enchantments. For the enchantments we have 4 copies of Sheltered by Ghosts, which I consider to be one of the more overpowered cards, at least one of the overpowered white Duskmourn cards. You enchant your creature you control when it appears. You exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until the aura leaves the battlefield. Enchanted creature gets 3 things. They get +1, they get lifelink, and they get ward 2. That's a lot of stuff to get. Because really they get 4 things. They get the +1, they get the lifelink, they get the ward, and they've exiled something of the opponent for only 2 mana. Now you can say that's temporary, it's easy to get rid of, creature removal. It's harder to get rid of creature removal when they have ward 2, especially when you get this on like turn 2 or 3. So it's a pretty devastating combo. If they don't have an answer, your opponent's going to scoop. The other enchantment, we got 1 Anthem of Champions. I only have 1 copy right now. This is from Foundations. Creatures you control get +1/+1. And I have 4 copies of Buried in the Garden. You enchant the land. You get to exile another target permanent. And whenever the enchanted land is tapped for mana, you get 1 additional mana of any color. So that's kind of handy. A lot of what I have left is you might want to argue against it because a lot of it is legendary creatures, not enchantment creatures. I've got a 1-drop. I'm always trying to find a good 1-drop I can use with any deck. This is Optimistic Scavenger. Matches with Sheltered by Ghosts, right? There's synergy there because whenever an enchantment you control enters, you get a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So that automatically, just by on your turn 2, if you can get Scavenger down on turn 1, and they put a creature or an enchantment you don't like down, you put Sheltered by Ghosts down, automatically Scavenger becomes a 2/2 just from that alone. And actually becomes a 3/2 because of the +1 here. So you've turned a 1/1 into a 3/2 lifelinker and removed a threat. Not too shabby. For in case I miss a land every now and then, maybe I'll get a Llanowar Elf out to help me out with that. And then for removal, in addition to the 4 Buried in the Garden and the 4 Sheltered by Ghosts, we have 4 Not on My Watch to exile target attacking creature. What else do we have? Well, we have a lot of stuff that's in the 3-drop column or less. We only have 5 cards, if you include 3 copies of Vienna, that are more than 3. So I've got a copy of Cosmic Rebirth here. Choose target permanent card in your graveyard. If it has mana value 3 or less, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you don't put it onto the battlefield, you can put it in your hand. You gain 3 life either way. And if they're going to kill Calyx, I'm just going to use Cosmic Rebirth to get Calyx back. So technically, you could consider that I have 5 potential Calyxes in this deck. Also have Danitha Nubenalia's Light, 2/2 Legendary Knight with Vigilance, Trample, and Lifelink. And once during each of your turns, you may cast an aura or equipment spell from your graveyard. So if I get Danitha out and they've managed to get rid of some of these, this is it's an aura, right? This is an aura or an enchantment. This is actually an enchantment aura too. So I guess either one works. Or if they get rid of Anthem of Champions, I guess I can do. But it says aura or equipment spell, so I can't do enchantment. It has to be an aura, so it has to be Sheltered by Ghosts or Buried in the Garden. So if they get rid of that stuff, I have a chance to get it back. Is this Kutzel or Kutsu? Malamet Exemplar. It's a 3/3 legendary cat warrior. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Then whenever one or more creatures you control, each with power greater than its base power, deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Since we're putting Shelter by Ghosts on everything whenever we get a chance, you're going to have good odds. Plus, remember, this gets plussed up even if they have like a disenchant and they get rid of this. Your +1 counter is still going to stay. So the Scavenger is likely to be pumped up. Sheltered by Ghosts, if it's still on, somebody's going to be pumped up. When Calyx enters, you could put a +1 counter on any target creature. You can make sure all of your stuff is pumped up. So pretty much anything that you get through and does damage when Kutzel's out, you're going to be able to draw a card. This, just because you can't cast spells during your opponent's turn all of a sudden, this is a lightning rod for them to kill right away. That's why I have 3 copies. Shrewd Storyteller, also Duskmourn. Not a legendary, just a regular 3/3 human survivor. At the beginning of the second main phase, if the creature's tapped, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature. So keeping the synergy with Kutzel. We have Unflinching Courage, another enchantment. This one's an aura too, so maybe I should include this over here. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has Trample and Lifelink. I've been playtesting for a couple days. I have not drawn this card yet. Let's see. Veteran Beast Rider. Human Knight, 3/4 at the beginning of your end step. Untap each creature you control. So that could come in handy. Plus, if you do get enough land that you can create this as a mana sink, creatures you control get +1/+1 until the end of the turn. A mythic rare, finally, Trostani 3 Whispers. Legendary Dryad, 4/4, with a whole bunch of stuff you can use as a mana sink. 1 and a green gives a creature Death Touch. A green or a white gives a creature Vigilance. And 2 and a white gives a creature Double Strike until end of turn. So for 6 mana, you could give them everything. Vigilance, Double Strike, and Death Touch. I've got 1 Siege in here. I tend to be the only one that seems to use these anymore, which is weird, but we're going to lose these too, so I'm having fun with them. Invasion of Moag. When the Siege enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. If you convert it into the creature you see to the right, the Bloomwielder Dryads, you get a 3/3 with Ward 2. At the beginning of your next step, every creature you control gets a +1/+1 counter. So nice little value there. Sampling of the older expansions present in this. 4/4 Legendary Elf Noble. For 2, choose target enchantment you control that doesn't have the same name as another permanent you control. Create a token that's untap Yenna and Scry 2. You can activate only as a sorcery. So what we want to do is we want to get something like Sheltered by Ghosts and Buried in the Garden out. If we only have one of those out, we can create a copy. And that's handy. If you already have 2 copies of Buried in the Garden out, you're out of luck. You can't copy it because it's already a permanent that has another permanent that has the same name. So there's a little bit of strategery here that you have to involve in terms of, if you have a Sheltered by Ghosts and you have a Buried in the Garden already in play, are you going to play another one, or are you going to wait for Yenna to show up? Along with Yenna, we have Yuna, Hope of Spira. Creature, 3/5, during your turn, Yuna, mixing them up already, and enchantment creatures you control have Trample, Lifelink, and Ward 2. This is not going to apply to a lot of these. These are legendary creatures. I go with the typical thing where you would. So that's the only one that it benefits. But at the beginning of your end step, you return up to one target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. So even if they get rid of this stuff, I've got things in my deck to dig back into my graveyard and get the stuff back out. We do have 2 copies of Restless Prairie as well, so for 4 mana we can have it turn into a 3/3 green and white llama creature. Still land. Whenever it attacks other creatures you control, get +1/+1 until end of turn. 1 demolition field in case they have a Restless Prairie or something like that. And that's basically the idea. I'm really looking at getting Optimistic Scavengers out early, so I have a target for Sheltered by... And if Calyx doesn't show up, you know, we've got things like Yena. It's a really... I've had a lot of success with this deck already, except for when I miss my land drops, which happens... I don't know if I want to say it's happening more often, but it does happen a lot. But for right now, it's just I'm digging into these older expansions that we're going to lose in a couple of weeks. I think at the time this video goes to air, we'll probably only have like 8 days left. So if you have these cards and you haven't used them in this manner before, I hope to persuade you that this is a good deck configuration. That's been my experience so far. Let's see what happens today. I think it's okay to put out this little puppy. If they don't kill it, we can bring out maybe Calyx next. Calyx might be a big target. Artifact, creature, or land. They got 2 lands. I don't think I have any graveyard hate in this deck. Do we want to use anything on that? I think we just start to bring down Calyx for starters. And let's make him the obvious target. I want 4 mana, and if I don't hit my land drop, I want them to ignore the Llanowar Elves for now. Remember, we have a card that can get Calyx out, plus we have 3 more copies of this. I only have 1 more copy of Llanowar. I only have 1 copy in the entire deck. So, more valuable to me at this stage for this reason. Let's get rid of Dredger's Insight. Now if they kill it, I've got 4 mana. Because of the bonus that Buried in the Garden gives.
Something suspicious is going on. And for once, it's not my fault. Don't overthink things.
Let's throw away Anthem. I don't want to use Sheltered by Ghost yet because of the removal. I want to use this again.
Fine. I'll take my zombies and leave.
Because I'm not expecting them to be able to get rid of my enchantments for the most part. Creature removal I'm expecting from this deck. Of course, okay.
A fight? And you think you can win? I'm tired of your secrets.
I'm expecting them to be able to get stuff out of the graveyard. Okay, so we'll get rid of... Oh, hang on. We're going to get the +1 there.
Knew this was a waste of time.
Okay, Arena's put us up against somebody who has a reanimation deck, who's already put 2 mythic rare planeswalkers up against us. I'm going to do that because it's Ward 2. And they couldn't get rid of it that turn, and they give up already. That is the second opponent to wimp out in just a couple of opening turns. And it's not like we're doing mono red, right? It's not like they were going to die the next turn. They just don't want to have anything to do with us anymore. And this happened with the last Aftermath deck I did. I wanted to showcase Ob Nixilis, And in my playtesting, Obnixilis did great. If I got him on the field and got him to stay around for a turn or two, oh, it was magic. And then I go to record on another day, and it's like they're scooping. I can't even get to draw him most of the time. He doesn't even show up before they're leaving. And it's like, the deck's not that great. I feel kind of like I should feel good when I go to do these battles sometimes, because I always imagine that I'm facing a bully. Like, these people are coming into my house and they want to get rid of me. And they want to get rid of me fast. They want to just come up and sock me in the jaw. And as soon as it looks like I might have any way at all to stop them, they pick up their toys and they go home crying. They've got their synergies already. As soon as they can afford Pride Mate, they're pumping them up. We're just going to let them swing in. We will do this. We will pass. We'll try and use Not on My Watch on a Johnny's Pride Mate, see if that passes. Do they have protection? If so, we might be toast. Okay, so you're telling me we have a chance. Alright, we're down to 13. I think we go ahead and try a creature. How many flyers are they going to have? I can't stop a ton of flyers. Okay, we've got one of those and one of those, and then we can start making duplicates. One, two, three, four. Okay, so let's do Yenna first. And then we'll do Sheltered by Ghosts. Which one do we want to get rid of? I think we get rid of the flyer. I think we get rid of the flyer now. Because they can't really stop us here. We'll go get some life gain. And a card draw out of it. Nice. What else you got? Okay. We're nearly dead. Still not using all of their stuff. Sheltered by Ghosts. I'm going to put it on you. Another Sheltered by Ghosts coming up. We'll take it. We'll take that. We'll put this down. We probably should have put that down first. And then we can still afford a Calyx by Fate. And we got to untap Yuna. So that's 10 points. We're back up to 14. And we can take action. We can copy a non-legendary. We're going to attach it to Calyx. We're going to have a bunch of triggers. And we're going to exile this little puppy. We'll target this creature. We'll target this creature. Okay, it's 35 to 14. They didn't scoop. You're kidding me. They didn't scoop? I don't know what to do. I get to continue playing. Wow. Let's copy this enchantment because it's not duplicated yet. Submit it there. I don't need any of that stuff right now. I feel like I got a lot of good stuff. Trigger, trigger, trigger. We'll get rid of you. We'll get more lifelink. We'll get more... Oh, are they gonna... Oh, oh, no, they did. They scooped. Well, they could have chump block one, but they were gonna lose this, so they could have... I mean, they could have saved themselves from about 7 points of damage, but I was gonna go up to like at least... What, could Calyx attack that turn? Was I gonna go up to 28 life? The deck is impressive when as soon as Sheltered by Ghost shows up. I've got enough synergy built into everything else that we're doing that it feels like I just get 1 or 2 unending turns that completely upends any advantage they possibly had and tilts the board game so it is irretrievably in my favor. Yeah, we'll take a plains. This is the middle is hybrid color, so it doesn't matter if it's green or white. So as soon as we get our third land down, we can play everything. Let's start with Calyx. They've got a swamp there, so they could have removal. So I'm being a little greedy here because I want all the benefits of Calyx when I add enchantments. You don't want to attack that. Okay, so we want to start with Sheltered by Ghosts. Get rid of the pack beasts. Pump me up. Put this puppy down. Optimistic Scavenger is a great card, and then I hit them. They're not going to want to block that. And it's got Ward 2, so unless they have something like Shoulder's Edict, let's say, oh yeah, we can create a copy. We can create a copy of stuff, can't we? We can get rid of the other one. If they don't have Sheoldred's Edict, or the one that blots out with Exile, that's a turn 4 win. I'm not used to playing small, quick, fast decks that give me turn 4 wins. Is this why people play mono red all the time? Except for when I started the game, before I started recording, except for the one time where I got mana starved, where I missed my land drops, we haven't lost. And now they're actually starting us with 4 lands? That seems excessive. I'm even using pain lands, which I almost never do. We're going to lose these, so Brothers War is phasing out. How important is it that I get the Llanowar Elves out in the first round so that I have something to put Sheltered by Ghosts on? Usually I wait. I don't even know what color they have. You know what? We've won too many times. Let's take the pain. Look at that. Look at that thing. That's an ugly card right there. We're getting rid of that card. This is one that, when it transforms, all other attacking creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. We're not putting up with that. Okay, non-creature, non-land. They got rid of our removal. Put that puppy in. Yeah, let's put another creature in. Untap each creature. Don't tell me you got land starved. Didn't I just win 3 in a row? There's no way they're going to put me up against an opponent and not give them land after I won 3 games in a row, right? There you go. See, they've got a land. Another Death Toucher. Let's get rid of that guy. Don't need land now. Hit for 3. Untap. And this card's staying around. I'm probably going to do other things with this card in the future. They're looking at my enchantments like they can get rid of one. They can. That cost them some life. Oh, they're not going to like me. Oh, they're not going to like me. This one I can create. See, if I do this now, I'm going to do it now. That gives this ward 2 as well. There's no way they have a 1-mana removal spell. Even if they have an instant that brings us back from the graveyard or makes it indestructible, they don't have anything that gives it hexproof that's black. So whatever they've got, it's not enough. Untap. This is kind of an impressive card. It's legendary. It transforms into something that gives you lifelink, a 4/4 lifelink. That's good stuff. Can I not attack with this now? Because it's still only got 1 toughness. That's fine, I'll use it for this instead. How do you not chump block against this? Yeah. 4 lands again. It's a trap. They want me to take this into ranked. They'll squash me there. Wasn't that just 4 wins in a row? There's no cuts to this, everybody. There's no editing. I'm going straight into one battle after battle after battle, one after the next, after the next, after the next. You want to see a winning? You want to see a winning deck? This is it. Like and subscribe now. It doesn't get better than this. And I'm not going to get land starved because they gave me 3 in the opening hand. Black again. It would be nice to do some other colors. Oh, you know what? I should have led with a forest. I should have led with the forest. I didn't think about that, because then I would have played the Fabled Passage. Now if I don't have a tap land that's going to delay me, well, he's going to kill the elves, isn't he? Yeah? Well, he might have had that in the first round, so even if I played the forest first. Let's go green this time, just for the heck of it. Do they have any other colors, or is it just pure black? Pure removal, no matter what? You know what? They want to do card advantage. Go away. Can't stop that. What else you got? Nothing. Do I do Calyx and be greedy? No. They've got more removal. Shrewd Storyteller is the most expendable. Let's wear them out. Come on, you got 7 cards. Removal? That's not a removal card. That's not a removal card. What are you doing? They're not doing what I expected them to. Okay, let's just attack. These are not insignificant creatures that I'm putting down. Would be nice to get another land drop. What I want to do is be able to put down Calyx and then put down a Sheltered by Ghosts on the same turn, eventually. Do they not have removal all of a sudden? What is going on? Okay, at least I'm going to get some more land in here. Target creature gains vigilance. Why not? Now they have 2 targets. Now maybe I should have known that was going to happen. Ooh, look at that. First strike and death touch. Let's see. What do we want to do? I feel like we just want to attack. Let's give them death touch. Still looking for one more land. Notice our opponent has not missed a land drop. Okay. Okay, are they going to give me a land? No. Alright. We'll do it this way then. Target you. Get rid of you. Attack with you. Vigilance? Who needs vigilance? This has menace. Are they going to chump block it? I wouldn't normally think you would. You've got a lifelinker with menace that possesses some value on the attack. I'm at a disadvantage now because they've got 6 mana. It's pure black. Black has all sorts of removal spells. They can afford the Ward 2 and get Shieldred back. Uh-huh. Look at that. Still not getting land, so we got to use Not on My Watch against Shieldred because there's just too many ways for them to bring him back. Go ahead, kill it. That's what it's there for. It's there to be killed. That's why I did it. You don't have any blue. Why are you taking so long? There you go. Who do they bring back? They don't have Shieldred. Okay, we're getting low. Alright, I don't think we have a choice here. What do we get rid of? 3-2 or... I think this. Look at all the removal. They've got Cut Down, they've got Rankle's Prank, they've got Black Sun's Twilight. Yep. And Go for the Throat. This is just nothing but removal. And they got all their land and we did not. We are dead. They just drew another one of their... They had, what, at least 16 removal cards in here? Arena finally found a pure black removal deck to get rid of us. I don't know there was anything else we could have done on that. I don't mind that. It's been a while. Most of my deck configurations can handle that, actually. If we'd had the enchantment for the land instead of the one you put on creatures, that would have made a really big difference there. But because it's a removal deck and creatures are easy to remove, you're seeing part of the reason why they argue that the card's not overpowered, Sheltered by Ghosts. Our opponent this time is named Deadhead. White and black so far. Let's put out a 4/4 on turn 2. Give this Vigilance. And attack. They're not going to like me. Vigilance. Attack. They let it through. I'm taking your Pride Mate. If they had blocked, I would have given this double strike. Another Pride Mate. I'm so shocked that you get 2 Pride Mates so early on. Sure. Vigilance. To you. Swinging it again. And they're taking it. Life is good. Hello? Do they have removal finally? They could easily have a removal card. Interesting choice there. Okay, so no attack this turn. Go back up to a 7/7. They still can't attack in. That's going to give me 7 life, though. Why would you do things that way? I don't get that. I'm just going to tap and attack. They take it. They're down to 3. I get to create a copy of something. Put it on that land. Trigger Calyx. Get rid of a Johnny's Primate. Pump up Calyx. And I could bring this down and untap Tristani. I don't know what their remaining card was. I do have to slow down a little bit when I get those kind of options and think through exactly what I want to do. It's like there's just enough interplay between each of these cards that if I look like I might get in trouble, it's like, okay, if I do things in a different combination, and I'm really just playing around what they might have in their hand. That's really just a big guessing game. What do they have in their hand, and what do I have to account for them possibly playing? But most of the deck does turn out to be 3-drops. So when I got to a place where I could play 2 spells a turn, and it wasn't even necessarily a spell, it was just an activated power. Because the threat of giving double strike to my Uber card just completely had to freeze them. Oh, I like this card. This card is in a lot of my decks. I almost never come up against it. Usually when Arena wants me to lose, they do put me up against Landfall. So I've only had one chance to put down a land, and they've got 2 creatures out already. That is not good for me. I didn't get a 1-drop or a 2-drop creature. Wow, they're taking a long time on that. So we kind of got it. Considering we've got some 1-drops and Sheltered by Ghosts, we're getting a very slow start to our deck. Another land would come in handy. Essence Channeler, interesting. Now where's the, let's see, whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter. Hang on, where did they gain the life? There's, oh, there's when it enters gain 1 life. That was it. Alright. We only got 2, 4, yeah, we had all the tapped lands. I don't think there's anything left. Maybe it was a mistake to put out the Anthem of Champions I was supposed to do not on my watch against one of these before. I can't put Sheltered by Ghosts out with anybody. They gave me all my expensive cards. Like, what are you doing? Okay, so they got enough to kill me, right? And I can't do Sheltered by Ghosts. So I guess we're doing it this way. If they have a single spell that green deals damage, they can get rid of that with a, since it has Death Touch. There we go. Predictable. Not the normal land deck landfall configuration, but you can see they've got more than 80 cards. They've got closer to 90 cards in the deck, and they're all cheapos. They've got this they can bring down for 1. This is 1. This is 1. This is 2, and this is 2. So that's most of their deck is 1 and 2 costs. And Arena decided to deal me my 3 and 4 costs. Alright, we've lost a couple times. It can be done. I would like to go up against a landfall deck when I get a better variation of my opening deal. Like here again, 2 4-drops, both the same legendary creature. Not the best opening hand. Okay, our opponent is PT Cruiser 777. And there's their second color. They're putting that out without even having a target, so I'm guessing that this is a recursion deck where they can just bounce stuff and do horrible things to me that way. And we didn't really include anything to destroy enchantments in this one. Which, if I was going to do that, I would probably get rid of a duplicate Yena to modify the deck if I was going to do anything of that nature. This is toughness 5 or less. Kona Rescue Beastie! Okay, that's why. Now they can just bring something down. Alright. Let's do Secured by Ghosts. Let's get rid of Kona so they don't put out anything else. And we'll attack. I'm hoping they don't have anything greater than... That's 5 mana, so they can pay the ward 2. Any 3-drop would get rid of this card. Do you have something? If so, I am in trouble. They've got something. Get rid of you. What else you got? A land. Okay, that's not too bad. But I can't use her to duplicate the enchantment now. So since I do have Yenna, I'm looking for an enchantment. 2 break down the door is already gone. So is it safe to assume there's 2 more of those in the deck? We'll trade that. That's a fair trade to me. That was another Kona Rescue Beastie. And they were already down to 4? I was not even paying attention. Did I hit them that many times? I may have to go watch that back. How did I get them down to 4 that fast? I was generally just not looking at their life that time at all. I think I already have 4 copies of Altenac. Alright, I think that's enough games to show off the deck. Ghosts of Fate. Centered around what I started the build by, yet another Aftermath card. So no matter how poorly this Aftermath strategy was by Wizards of the Coast, I do love the design of the individual cards. I love building decks around these Aftermath cards. I've got most of that set. I had been waiting on a lot of them to get 4 copies of each, which, considering it's like a mythic rare set, a set of nothing but mythic rares, it takes a while to get those. But we're about to lose them, so I hadn't used Calyx in many of my builds, let alone 4 copies in one. But this combined with Sheltered by Ghost. Sheltered by Ghost is just, in my opinion, it's an overpowered card. I understand that... I think the thinking of Wizards of the Coast when they design this card is it's an enchantment or you have to put it on a creature. Creature removal is really easy, so if you lose, if they play 1 removal card and they manage to get around and get rid of your creature, then this goes away and they get their threat back. So they wanted to make it worthwhile, right? So that's why they included the word 2 to make it hard to remove, so that this would be a worthwhile card to play. But I think they made it slightly too powerful because they made it cheap. They made it for only 2 mana. And they did 4 things. They exiled, they did a +1, the lifelink, and the ward 2. I think if they just took away like the +1 power and just maybe did the ward 2, lifelink, and exile, I think that would be enough. The extra power, why is that needed? Why did they include that in the design? I don't get that. I mean, I already feel the card is overpowered. If I would take anything away, that would be my starting point. I would say, like, okay, let's at least take that away and see how it performs. I would like to quiz somebody sometimes on the individual design of cards and say, why did you do all this? Because one of the things we're told in like podcasts by Mark Rosewider, the lead designer of Wizards, is you don't want to have a card full of text all the time, have all these impacts, and have it be so busy. You know, here they've got a rare card, and it only does one thing. You know, it's an uncommon card. It only does one thing. Here you've got an uncommon card. It does 1, 2, 3, 4 different things. I mean, why is that uncommon instead of like mythic rare? You know, this does like 3 things, right? Sort of. Really, technically, it just does 2, right? It adds the counter, and then when it does the damage, it really only does that. It does 2 things, and it's mythic rare. And under the New Order rules that they go by, this is a very busy card for being an uncommon card. So I think they erred on the side of overpowering on this. And I feel like we definitely, just by including that card, you're going to win more of your battles than you normally do. But that's just the opinion of Travis. Let me know if you have the same opinion. Should I go ahead and get rid of one of the Yennas and put in something to control for like maybe destroying artifacts and enchantments, which I typically do in most of my normal builds, but I didn't do here because I do have 4 of the Buried in Gardens, which is target non-land permanent, and the Sheltered by Ghost. So I do have 8 things that can sort of take care of that stuff. But if you look at this, I've got 20 creatures. I feel like that's the right amount of creatures. So I'm uncertain. It's a good average mana cost value. What do y'all think? Should I go ahead and get rid of one of these? Is having 3 of the 4/4s? Because remember, I already have 4 copies of this legendary card. I already have 3 copies of this legendary card. Is having additional multiple copies of yet another legendary card a little too much duplication, because you can only have one of these out at any one time. And you saw I was already getting duplicate copies of them. So that's normally what makes me think of, if I'm going to cut something out for a different card, that's where I want to start. But open to your suggestions. Go ahead and leave a comment. As always, we do ask you to like and subscribe, and we'll have something different for you next time. Thanks, everybody.